This is Gail Kovac for Gresham Barlow School District. This is Summer School High School Credit Recovery, Data Reasoning and Learning Target number 4. I can identify sources of bias in a statistical investigation. So we're talking about surveys and experiments. And whenever you're conducting some kind of investigation, there could be misinformation or sources that sway your results or make them a little bit inaccurate. And we call those sources of bias. So in the first one, we have a survey, and the question is, who did you vote for president? So what could cause people to maybe lie or be untruthful in that survey question? So politics is definitely a very hot topic. People are very opinionated on that. So perhaps somebody might lie and give false information if maybe when a presidential candidate was campaigning, they made all these promises about what they were going to do when they got into office. And then when they actually got elected, they didn't fulfill those promises. And then maybe that person who voted for them kind of doesn't like that person anymore and doesn't like how their candidate was performing. So they might say, nah, that person's kind of an idiot. I didn't actually vote for them, and they don't want to admit it. And then perhaps people just don't want to say who they voted for because it can be a very personal question for some people. So we could get sources of bias or people lying from changing their mind, something like that. We could also have people just like not wanting to respond at all. Maybe depending on who's asking them, they don't want to identify themselves as a particular party. Like if you vote for Democrat or Republican or whatever, and maybe you're with some friends and they're all of the opposite party to you, and you kind of just want to go with the flow and not cause contention or something. So you might lie depending on like who you're with as well. So maybe one source of bias, it's only asking for one source of bias here is what's one particular problem? Lying from changing their mind. They don't like the candidate they originally voted for. There's lots of different things though. So now let's look at the next experiment. That is, does taking a daily multivitamin make you live longer? So we would want to impose some treatments, and this might be a very long-term experiment because we're looking at life expectancy and a daily habit that people do. So we might ask one group, hey, you're going to take a daily multivitamin for the rest of your life. And then another group, like, don't take a multivitamin for the rest of your life. We're going to see how long you live. I don't know which group I would want to be in that case of like, hey, I wish I had taken a multivitamin because we ended up not living as long as the other group, right? So there's some sources of bias there in the fact of how can we get some swayed results. So doing something like this is not keeping someone contained within a specialized environment for the duration of their life. It's like, no, go live your life. Just make sure you take a multivitamin every day. Oh, I promise I will. Or don't take a multivitamin. Maybe people forget that they're in this study and they say, oh, I'm going to start taking a multivitamin because I'm 40 now or something. Or maybe they just stop taking it. I mean, there's a lot of lack of consistency that is potential there. So I'm going to say lack of consistency and forgetting. You can't really bank on, well, I did most days take a multivitamin. It's like, well, did you take it every day? So lack of consistency here with daily take over lifespan. Something like that. So, I mean, there's a lot of other things as well. Like if people were already kind of selecting like, hey, I take a multivitamin already. Do you want to see what my life, like how long I live, to add that to your data? You could do that, but often people who take a multivitamin might be a little bit more just generally health conscious than people who don't take a multivitamin. So maybe those people who take a multivitamin also like exercise very regularly, on average more than the group that doesn't. So there could be other life factors as well that are kind of introducing bias or some problems or some inaccurate results into the investigation. So whether it is a survey or an experiment, you're looking for what are problems that can sway the results, that can influence the results, that can get you false information, that can give you inconsistency or incorrect data.